everyone is celebrating the wrong Deepseek model. I understand Deepseek R1 is a really popular model, even beyond the deep learning, machine learning, AI community. But the right Deepseek model, the right breakthrough that we all should celebrate is Deepseek Janus Pro. This is a unified model that has been like one of a kind. And in this video, I'm going to convince you why this is the model that we should all be talking about. I mean, Deepseek R1 is a great model, don't get me wrong. But what Deepseek team has done with Deepseek Janus Pro is something that you wouldn't see every other day. So first of all, Deepseek Janus Pro is a unified multimodal model. So it has multimodal understanding and it has multimodal generation. What do I mean by that? This is a single model, like one model that can take text input and then also create text, that can take image input, understand the image, that can take text input and create images. I mean, like it can do all these things. That's exactly why we call it a unified multimodal model. But if this is a bit confusing to you, I'm going to give you a very brief couple of seconds overview about how existing models are. So we have got text generation models that also we call as auto-regressive models. So these are like the models that we say auto-regressive. So what does it mean? So it takes one single word and then it generates the next word. It takes these two words, now generates the next word, and then generates the next word and generates the next word. So this is what we basically call as auto-regressive models. And these are like decoder only transformer models that are quite popular in the world. Like everything that you talk about, Anthropic's Claude, OpenAI's ChatGPT's GPT-4o, all these models are generally text generation models. Especially if it is text generation model, it's generally auto-regressive model. Now there is one more class of models that people have been using for creating images, and that is quite popularly known as image generation models, or the particular architecture that has been very famous at this point is diffusion models. What is it? It takes a random noise, like just give a random noise, and then from there it denoises to align with a particular user prompt that user gave. For example, this could be a randomly sampled noise, and the text prompt from the user could be funny cartoon parrot, and then it denoises in such a way that the final image is closely aligned to the prompt, which is funny cartoon parrot. So these are two different altogether deep learning models. One is an auto-regressive decoder only transformer based model. The second one is a diffusion model. Now what Janus Pro is trying to do is combine these two. I mean, not exactly these two, combine some concepts in deep learning and then build one model that can do a bunch of things like this. If this is what Janus, if you think, then it can take text and then generate text. So text and then output is text. The other one is Janus. Okay, Janus Pro. So the other one is it can take images and then it can give text. Like for example, you can say, give me a caption of this particular image. It can do. The third one is it can take text and then generate an image. So I can say like an astronaut riding a horse, then it will generate an astronaut riding a horse. And all these things happening inside one single box. And that box is open source. So Deepseek Janus Pro 8 billion parameter model is available with MIT license on Hugging Face's Model Hub. You can go download and start using it. And this model is not even like a useless crap model. It is actually a model that is beating every other single model in this kind of a family. So as you can see here, Deepseek Janus Pro, the 7 billion parameter model is much better than the existing other unified model, which is Showo. So this is 7 billion parameter model. They proved that from the previous version of Deepseek Janus, the newer one, the larger one, still holds up to be a good model. And in terms of benchmarks, you can also compare it with other unified models. And this model is clearly a winner in a lot of different these benchmarks. So now if you were to understand what they have done, so this is how the architecture simply looks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in going through this architecture. I'm going to show you the demo. But simply, if you were to see, it has got image understanding. It has got the capability to generate image. It has got language understanding. So there is like an encoder here, and then there is a text tokenizer. So the encoder here can take images and it can split images in such a way that the language model can understand it. This is where we go ask, can you give me a caption? And there is this other part where you can generate image as well. So there is this text tokenizer, there is this text tokenizer, and there is this generative encoder, and then there is this image encoder understanding encoder and generation encoder, and then finally you have got the image decoder to finally create the image. And if you were to see the samples that it has created, the samples are quite good. The previous generation Janus created this for the face of a beautiful girl, and the latest Janus Pro 7 billion parameter has created this. Now you can say that this is not as good as Flux. I mean, if you have seen the growth of Stable Diffusion or the growth of LLMs, it naturally feels that we need something that is particularly new if we want to create some model that can understand, have the whole universe understanding, like a world model that people say. Then this is probably the architecture that we should, spend more time towards. A lot of companies don't do it because they don't have a lot of financial incentive. But Deepseek has done that, release the technical paper, release the model also for people to use it. So you can see the text generation is good, the image generation is good, and also like in terms of image understanding on all the other things, it is good. There are a lot of interesting information that you can go read in this particular paper. But if you were to simply understand, this is a model that can generate text, can take text input, create text output, take text input, based on that create an image output, take image input, and based on that create a text output. So these are the different modalities like image and text that this model can deal with. Now the model in itself is something that you can go ahead and then use it. The model is available on Hugging Face's Model Hub if you were to use it, and the team has also put together a simple demo for you to understand. If you go to the demo, you have two tabs. One is the multimodal understanding, which is like input image and then get a response back, and then there is text to image generation where you can go and say what you want and then it can create. So I've given this image, input image, which was my recent thumbnail, and I said write a YouTube description for this new model. So that is all I gave the information, but the word O3 mini is something that it managed to get it from there, and then it is like writing. I mean, it's not going to be 100% accurate because it doesn't have the world information about what is O3 mini, but as you can see here, it gave me complete, like a simple blog post-ish or a YouTube description describing what is O3 mini or what it believes O3 mini from the screenshot is. Now, if you were to go to the text to image generation, you can go here and then say, draw the picture of a beautiful young girl. I guess the picture of a beautiful young girl should be fine. I don't think the image generation capability would be like as good as something like Flux or other images. So from my sample, it does faces pretty bad, as you can see here. This was the case with early Stable Diffusion. Whenever you have a long shot face, the face was not always very clear, and you can see the long shot face is not very good. But you can see the horse is like kind of decent. There is like background, decent background. It's not a very high resolution image. Again, you can see this is the picture of a girl. This is probably like good, but again, it has this plasticky nature like the early Stable Diffusion days. But still, I believe this is where the research is. Not a lot of research is available, and for a team like not like a the cutting edge state of the art research lab like OpenAI or Anthropic, for somebody from China with a small number of resources to build this and also put together this final result, I think it's quite commendable, and that is exactly why I decided to make this video. And I think we should spend more time appreciating what the model is, how good the model is, and the new architectures should be studied by deep learning researchers. I hope this video was helpful in me convincing you that Deepseek Janus Pro, Janus or Janus, I don't know how do you call it, like in the American way you call it Janus, but if there is a different name, I'm not sure about it. But this is the model that we should be celebrating for Deepseek, open sourcing it and also releasing a technical paper than the other model that the entire world is celebrating. Hope this was helpful to you. See you in another video. Happy prompting.